Okay, real quick, what I did on the inside here is I did this photo blocking from scraps. Now you'll need to measure yours. Technically my colors is, this one is 5 1/8 by 4, and this one is 5 1/8 by 3 3/4. So I didn't get them evenly. I had scraps, so this is how I did it. This one is 1 5/8 wide by 4 tall, and this one matches this one. It's 1 5/8 wide by 3 3/4 tall. And so I just glued that, and I love how that looks. And that's probably what I'm going to do on some of these other pullouts. And so we have that. I haven't decided if I'm going to put something more down here or if we're going to match something on the back of this. I don't know if I have enough of my colors to do that, but that's something I will do later on. And so now I am ready to go on to the next part of our album, which is the back of the base page. Okay, so we're ready to work on the back of the base page right here. And it's getting kind of thick, so I don't want to put too many layers, but I want to just enough. So I'm hoping what I've planned will work. Okay, so I've cut my cardstock. We're going to have a top flap. So I cut this one at 9 5/8 by 3 3/4 and score your 3 3/4 side at a 1/2 inch. Fold and burnish that. So that's going to go across the top like that. Now I have cut my mats and some of my pattern paper, which I'll of course give you that as well. Now then, we're going to have a bottom side flap, and on the left side it's going to be shorter, so I wanted one that's 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and on your 5 1/2 side, score it a 1/2 inch. Fold and burnish that, and on this one I want to do that angle punch that we did. If you have this one, this wider one here, so it's just going to go in like that, right there. Did I get that right? I always kind of miss it, so I need to sit it down and do it. There we go. Make sure it's getting it all the way the full size. Okay, so it has that little angle there, like that. So on the left, we're going to have, you actually cut 3 of these. I wrote it down 2 separate measurements, but they are the same. They are, you cut 3 that are 6 3/4 by 4 1/4, and we're going to put the 6 3/4 in at the top and score at a 1/2 inch. So one's a top flap, and then 2 are some photo mat flaps. So put your 6 3/4 in at the top and score at a 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to fold those and burnish. And this. Okay, and then we have a pocket base that these are built up on. So your pocket base is one piece of cardstock, 10 5/8 by 4 3/4, and we're going to score, put the 10 5/8 in it first because it's an odd measurement. We're going to score at a 1/2 inch. Then we're going to turn and put the 4 3/4 in at the top and score at a 1/2 inch. This is a regular pocket. It's not going to be flat on the bottom. And then we're going to turn and score the other end of the 10 5/8 side at a 1/2 inch. Whoops. Gotta make sure I score it. Okay, I kind of jumped out of my tracks there. That's okay. It's going to be covered by paper, but okay, so fold and burnish these 1/2 inch on all 3 sides. This is a really big pocket. Now I haven't decided yet what I'm going to put in it. Maybe a booklet, some mats. I'll look at my scraps and see. Now, here we're going to miter cut at an angle. I'm going to fold it up, make sure everything looks right there in that corner, and it does. So that's ready. So let's start assembling some. Okay, so I got this. This is the top flap. I'm going to grab my page first, my book first, the page. Move this out of the way. So much stuff everywhere. Get my glue ready. Okay, so we're back to this. I got my glue going. So this flap here, I'm going to put a photo, a red. This is Chinese red, my colors, and I've already pre-cut this. And I cut this down to 9.5 by 3 1/8, and I've cut 2 because I'm going to put one on the inside and one on the outside. So I think I'll go ahead and glue those down. This is a really heavy, smooth cardstock from my colors, Chinese red. So get my glue on. And put this down. Too far on one side. There we go, even out. Okay, just like that. Now I may put pattern paper on top of this, I don't know, or I may leave it, you know, just the red. We shall see. Flip it over and put this on the inside. Now some of you may be wondering why, if you're watching right now, why sometimes my glue clogs when it's in this holder and it's not supposed to, or any type of, you know, glue. Well, I do my videos sporadically, or not sporadically, but I do part of it one day, part of it the next, some in the evening, some in the morning or the afternoon, depending on what's going on. And if I stop and take a break, like for lunch or whatever, sometimes I forget to cap my glue, and it does clog. Glue will do that. Or if it's been sitting even with the cap on for a while, sometimes I'll have to get it going. I just keep 2 long stainless steel pins I've purchased somewhere at some time or the other, and I just, you know, unclog it. So that's why it's not that it's doing it all the time while I'm working. Okay, so now let's bring the book back in, and this is going to attach right here. Now we have this lifted up here, so this is going to be just a tiny bit of a challenge maybe for you to put this on, but I'm going to go ahead and get the glue on the back of this 1/2 inch here. And remember, it doesn't go into that fold. So now it's standing up kind of like that. So I'm going to, what did I do with the black cardstock piece? There it is. I'm going to put this under here so you can kind of see a little more up here at the top. And so you're going to line it up on this side over here, the end of it, and then right at the top. So make sure it's lining up nice and straight. Now this is going to be held down by mats and things with the pocket. There's not going to be a magnet on this one. So I'm going to burnish this down, especially right here where it's, you know, up against the edge here. Kind of got a little lift going on here. Love that red. That is so pretty. Okay, so then next, from this red check, which is the back of Eeyore, did I write that down? Background under pocket, and I'm using red check from the Eeyore. This is a one piece, 9.5 wide by 5 tall. And the reason it's a 5 tall, I don't need it to go all the way. Right there, I need to really burnish that. Just poking up. Is going to have that other pocket there, so we don't need to waste paper. But I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. Like I said, no magnets are needed at this point. Eeyore's cute though, isn't he? We'll probably, maybe I'll use him on a booklet or something. So I just want the red check right now. Okay. So let's line this up. Grab me a cloth. I guess I threw my paper towel away. Put a little glue oozing out right there. I don't want. Oh, clean it up really good. Let's go ahead and reposition this because I have it a little crooked down here at the bottom. There we go. Make sure did I cut it crooked? Yeah. I want it straight up here. Okay, there it goes. Okay, burnish that down. Just like that. So next, let's add this. I was going to add this pocket piece. So I think I'll go ahead and add that, but let's see what we were going to put on that. Did I plan that part yet? No, because I'm going to build up on it. So no pattern paper yet. But this is going to go in. So I'm going to put just glue on the bottom one for now. It's folded, the hinge is folded up. Okay, line it up down here at the bottom. Make sure it's right on that edge. So burnish it here at the bottom. Get it stuck on good. Another case of making sure. Now that I don't want anything, I haven't done this on other pockets, but this is a trick. If you're afraid something's going to hang and you don't have paper over this hinge down in here, take some gift wrap tape and just kind of place it over that, burnish that down, so that will make it smooth. It's not going to hang on that. Now then, let me move this up so you can see. It's going to put glue on both 1/2 inch sides. And fold this up. Make sure it lines up right here. Burnish, and the other side as well. Okay. It wants to pop up on me, so I want to make sure I burnish it really well. So now we have that pocket there. Things that we put inside there is going to hold everything down, hold the flap down. Okay, so we're going to put the outer flaps on first. So this one's going to go on the left. This one has the angle, so this will end up being the top flap. And you know, I'm thinking, I didn't account for this in the measurements, but I think it'll be okay. I'm going to put a little 1/8 of an inch. So score it 1/2 inch and then at 5/8. I'm going to give it a little bit of a gusset. I just think I'm going to fold it this way and then flip backwards. I think that will give it a little lift here for this one that sits on top. Okay, so I'm just folding it back and forth, kind of work it in there. It's not big enough to cover with pattern paper, so I'll have to readjust my mat for that. Design change as I'm going. So I'm going to flatten this down so I can just see the 1/2 inch and put that on. Like I said, I don't think it's going to affect the size because it's just a 1/2 inch of it covering over. So on the left here, line it up right on the edge. Make sure it's straight on the bottom. Should fit right there in the top. I'm going to burnish that down. Burnish it really good right here. Clean off that glue. Okay, and so then when you stand it back up, it's going to give a little lift. So let's see here how this works. See, yeah, that's plenty. Just worried about the magnet. I didn't think 1/8 of an inch would hurt. So I'll add that in the notes to add that little spore line. And then we're going to put this one over here. Make sure it's straight as well. Burnish that down. And burnish. So that closes like that. Okay. So now let's put these in. These are all going to go on the same side, and they're just going to stack on top of the other. So glue on your 1/2 inch. These are photo mat flips. This one's going to go right here. Going to line it up within the space here. I'm going to bring it, make sure it comes all the way to the fold line and stays straight. Okay, and then the last one's going to go here. Now, if you wanted to do a flip like this, we could. That would be the top. That might work a little bit better instead of having all over here. So let's do that. Let's put this one over here instead of tripling it on that one side. So I'll put my glue on my flap. So you can, switch it up if you want to. So set this, make sure it doesn't go over your little 1/8 of an inch gusset though. So I'll just kind of slide that in there. And line it up. Make sure it's burnished in. So then this one lay down, this one go over, and this would go over, and then this would close it all up. So that works. That's kind of cute like that. So next we need a magnet. So I'm still working on the last of my basic gray. I'm going to use these. And I'm going to peel the backing off of one and put it centered about 3/4 of an inch or so from the side. Pop this one down on it, pull the backing off. Line it up. I'll make sure this little 1/8 of an inch is standing up. Press down and then lift and then add my tape. Now that one came a little closer than I would like. That's okay. So I could have moved this other one further over, but it still catches, so that's good. Pattern paper, we'll go over that. Be a little close there. It'll be okay. So if you're doing it, bring yours in another 1/8 of an inch or so. So we'll hit further over. So for your mats, for this side, I cut one that's 4 3/4 by 4 1/8. But then when I laid it out, it was just a little bit too big, so I did trim off a tiny bit. And then of this piece here, of your Pooh and Friends with the bees on the back, this one I cut at 4 5/8 wide by 4 tall. But again, I had to trim off just a little bit to make it fit. So make sure we angle punch this on one corner. Like that. Same on our print. And make sure they go together. Like that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Okay. That is so cute. Got all the friends in there. We got Tigger and Kanga, Piglet, Eeyore. Super, super cute. Okay. So this glues down over right here. And again, this was the Chinese red, my colors. Piece of paper here so I can see what I'm doing. Oops. Lift that up so I can see where the mat it's kind of get it even. Burnish that down. That, so then we lift this up, and this side here is 6 1/8 by 4 1/8, so that should be about right. And then this piece, I'm going to use the B's, and I cut this at 6 wide by 4 tall. I'm going to glue that on. I just wanted the contrast from one side to the other. So this is going to glue over that magnet right there. Super cute. Okay. So I have that. So then I'm going to measure for this side here and the other sides. So that's how that looks there. And then of course we're going to make some mats and things, but I had this scrap here. This is a booklet that is was scrap that was 6 1/2 tall by 9, scored at 4 1/2 to make a booklet. So that's going to can tuck in there and hold that in, and some other tags and things. So I'm going to go ahead and off camera add pattern paper to the mats inside here. And then I'll start designing on this other side out here for the back of the album.